How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Talking Wolves and welcome back to another match preview on the channel today. Hope you guys are keeping well and safe as always. And today we've got an FA Cup match preview. It's different. We're no longer having Premier League action this weekend. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how Wolves can get on in a slightly different competition at Molineux. It's going to be interesting to see how Nuno lines up. And lots of news regarding players that have come back to the club. So it'll be quite intriguing to see how Nuno lines up for this game, really. As always, guys, let us know your thoughts ahead of the FA Cup game in the comment section down below. And the question that I'd like to ask before we start off our FA Cup campaign is, do you want to see Wolves take this seriously? It's the FA Cup, one of the best and most historic competitions in the world. So would you like to see Wolves go for it? I mean, it's a no-brainer, surely, especially with Wolves season so far. But as always, I'd like to point you in the direction of our channel partners for today's video. It's football prizes, and this week they've got another Wolves prize. It's a João Moutinho signed and framed shirt. You can get involved with that. The prize draw is on until next Wednesday, the 13th of January. So if you'd like your chance to win a framed and signed João Moutinho shirt from last season, looks a great shirt, and well, be sure to check them out. A link to that will be in the description down below. But the FA Cup for Wolves, been a strange competition, really, in terms of how Wolves have got on in recent times. It was a competition historically we never did quite well in, but obviously under Nuno got us all the way to Wembley in that semi-final, which no one likes to talk about, that game against Watford. And I still always have the belief that Wolves have got the quality to almost get that far again if we really wanted to. Of course, remember last season, unfortunately, we got Manchester United in the third round. Always going to be a difficult game. Took them to a replay and narrowly lost. The year before that as well, we did okay. I say that. I think we lost obviously last year third round, year before semi final, and there's just been some odd times. And cups is something that Nuno has never really taken too seriously. We've seen it many times where he started weakened teams. But we saw in the Carabao Cup, although we did lose against Stoke, it was a lot stronger than what fans expected, really. So it will be quite intriguing to see how Nuno lines up. But with the current injury issues and with the amount of important fixtures coming up, we play Everton midweek next week, and then we play West Brom in that massive Black Country derby as well. So there's lots of options there for Wolves. Of course, the transfer window is open, but it sounds like Wolves are having some difficulty right now with the current situation going on with coronavirus, and with clubs pretty much knowing Wolves are desperate to sign players as well. That just hikes the price up slightly. It's always a difficult window to buy and sell in, really, getting value for money, because clubs just don't really like to get rid of players halfway through the season. So it'll be intriguing to see by the end of the window what happens, really. One of the biggest names, or one of the biggest surprises maybe for some, is that Patrick Cutrone, as of today, has been recalled by Wolves, and it's been said by the club that he's going to be with the squad for the rest of the season. I'm happy about it, man, because you know what? I really was ecstatic when we first signed Patrick. Obviously, it didn't quite work out in the end, and he was shifted out to Italy, and I never thought we'd see him again in a Wolves shirt. Look, let's give him a chance, guys. A lot of people are disappointed, but I think we have to accept now this is going to be a transitional season for Wolves. We haven't had the best of successes in the transfer windows. Of course, we may well have spent our money slightly better in the summer, but we still... the club is still evolving. The club is still growing at the moment, and let's back them for the rest of the season. I don't think we're going to go down, but at the same time, it looks very unlikely that we're going to push for European football again. So maybe a win in the FA Cup could see us get that. So Patrick Cutrone is back. At the time of recording, they're still awaiting international clearance to see if he'll be involved tomorrow. Morgan Gibbs-White as well, another surprise. Just come back from injury, had a great start at Swansea City. Unfortunately got injured for the last month or so, and he came back quite recently, really, into the Swansea frame, and he's been recalled as well. And look, again, Morgan, a player that a lot of fans jumped on the back of quite quickly. Still a young player, and I think he just didn't quite have the quality last season for Wolves, especially for a team that were in European football. And this loan was what he really needed, and he kicked on quite well for Swansea. And it would have been quite interesting to see if he'd played throughout this whole first period of the season. And Steve Cooper, the Swansea manager, has raved about him as well. And we never really, at the time of having Morgan, had a system that suited how he played. He's always been an attacking midfielder like a number 10, and Wolves have always played like a flat midfield three or with wingers. So this sort of evolution really into a new system with the 4-2-3-1 that Wolves like to play may see Morgan, take to this formation, take to the wall system much, much better. There's also players like Niall Ennis who have been recalled. It's been reported that he looks like he's going to be moved on. So, you know what? I would rather, with the strength of the squad, if Niall Ennis is somebody that's going to be sat on the bench, okay. I don't think, no disrespect to Niall, I don't think he's got the quality to be a number one Premier League striker. But as an attacking option, to be on the bench short term, I don't think it's the worst case scenario. But it's pretty clear that Wolves still have so many areas to strengthen in this team. And you know what? Nuno has sort of admitted it himself. I think they're going to take a look at Catrone and just see how it goes. We saw it, the year we got promoted from the Championship, Wolves signed Rafa Mir early January, and people were like, right, we've got our striker sorted. And it took Nuno 2 or 3 weeks, and obviously realised he wasn't quite up to it, and we signed Benik Afobe. So signings will happen if Nuno thinks they need to happen, really. So going into this game against Crystal Palace, with cup football, form goes out the window. We've seen that a number of times, really. It's actually a year ago, not a year, 3 years or 4 years ago, actually, today, since we beat Stoke under Paul Lambert. And he put out a team that I thought I thought we were going to get smashed by a Premier League side in Stoke at the time, and they did fantastically. So when you got something on the line like that, players love it, and the squad is just up in the air. There's so many players returning, so many players that Nuno is going to be considering for this game, and it will be almost impossible, I think, to predict the lineup for this match. But Crystal Palace, very similar record to us at the moment, not having a great season. We've got the thoughts here from the folks at Back of the Nest, the Crystal Palace fan page, and this is their thoughts ahead of this FA Cup game.
What's going on, guys? It's Dia from Back of the Nest with the preview for the FA Cup tie. So for the first question, it's in the league, how has Palace been so far this season? And we haven't been great in the league all last year, not even talking about season. I think we've only won now 7 in 27 games or 26 games. So it hasn't been the most exciting. We know that we could do better in the league. And that's why, in a way, I am excited to go ahead and watch this game because it's a cup tie. It's something different. We don't have to focus on league results because all you need is this one win to go to the next round. And yeah, as Palace fans, we've got Roy Hodgson as a manager, and if you're a Wolves fan watching this, I guess you can tell that it's not going to be the most exciting football. And last time we faced you guys, we saw it with you guys beating us 2-0, and we really struggled to break it down. So with Palace, not exciting at all in the league. We do struggle, but at this point, we're just used to it. And hopefully at the end of the season, we can just move on from Roy and actually use the squad to the full potential that it can be. Am I hoping for a good cup run? Yes, and yes. This is the only thing that I'm looking forward to. It is boring watching us play in the league. So I need something to keep me sane throughout the season. And the FA Cup is the only thing which can keep me possibly interested in Palace, because it is so hard watching Palace at times, knowing that we're not playing to our full potential, knowing that some of our best players do get left out. So every cup run that you have as a Palace fan, you get excited. The last time we had a good cup run was in 2016, which is when we got to the FA Cup final. And that was one of the best times that I've had, that 9 minutes when we were 1-0 up against United. I've never felt like that watching my team play in a very, very long time. So 100% I would like a cup run. And as Palace fans, we all want one because we want something to look forward to. So fingers crossed. I know you guys don't want to hear this, but fingers crossed we can get a result, because Roy Hodgson, as bad as it can be in the league, he's not that great in the cup, don't get me wrong, because since Roy's joined, what has been a cup run? I can't really remember us going that far ahead. But he can get the odd result or two. So hopefully that odd result can be against you guys in the cup, because I need something to look forward to. So do I expect Roy Hodgson to play a strong team or to rotate? Well, I think it's going to be a bit of rotation, because we've picked up some injuries in our last win against Sheffield United. Benteke, he got injured. Jeffrey Schlupp, he also got injured. And Luka Milivojevic, he picked up an injury as well. So 3 injuries in one game. I expect rotation from Roy, and he should rotate because he hasn't used the squad to the full length. And as a result, we're seeing players now picking up injuries. And I know some of the injuries were caused in a game like Benteke's dead leg, and it wasn't really down to fatigue. But players are going to get fatigued. So hopefully he does rotate. But even when he does rotate, I'm not talking about rotation to make sure that he plays youngsters and stuff. I would like that, and that was another part of the questions. Are there any youngsters to watch out for? I would like that, but Roy Hodgson, James McArthur, 34 years old, is a youngster to Roy. We don't see any youth really playing. The only youth that you might see is Tyreek Mitchell, which you already saw in the Premier League tie against us. So, yeah, I really would like youngsters like Scott Banks to have a chance. Mitchell is already having a chance in this type of game, and also Rob Street as well, who's a striker. But I don't see it happening. I feel like Roy will rotate. It won't be our strongest squad, but it'll still be a squad strong enough to have a chance to beat you guys. So that's what I'm expecting, but no youngsters to really play. So are there any Wolves players that scare me? Well, I wouldn't pick out one. I'll pick out a couple that scare me. So let's start with your fullbacks, Nouri and Semedo. I understand that Semedo might not play this game. Speaking to Dave on our channel, he suggested that there might be a bit of rotation there. But your fullbacks absolutely destroyed us when he last played us. So I'm worried about that. If they're overlapping, can we handle it? Because last time around, it was so poor. We were just stuck in the mud, literally trying to defend you guys. We can't get anywhere close to you guys. So them two players, the fullbacks that I'm worried about. Now, moving up the pitch, Pedro Neto, Traore, those two players, absolute quality. Pedro Neto probably more technical than Traore, but Traore's pace and his strength on the ball. Mitchell actually had his debut against him, I believe, and he struggled massively. So hopefully Mitchell this time around will do a better job against Traore. But we saw it against Brighton. He just got the pace that I've never seen before in a player and the strength. And I remember him first time around coming to the Premier League with Aston Villa, I believe it was, and he made his debut against Palace. And since that day, this guy hasn't changed. He's just so scary to face. So out of them lot, instead of picking your whole team, if you want me to pick individual players, I'll pick them 4 players, the fullbacks and also Neto and Traore. So score prediction. This is where things get interesting because as I've said it, I want us to go and win this game. We need this. We need something to look forward to as Palace fans. So hopefully we can go and get a result. And therefore, I'm saying 1-0 Palace because I feel like it's not going to be a high-scoring game. And, whoever gets the first goal is most likely to win this game. And if it's not 1-0, 2-0. But then again, saying this, don't be surprised if you guys go out there and beat us 2-0 once again. As I said, whoever gets the first goal, which I hope is Palace, because last time you guys got the first goal, we struggled massively to break it down. They will go out to win the game. But thank you today for having me on, and best of luck for the game.
Big thanks to Dyer for that one. You can find their channel in the description down below. I like to do the predicted lineup at this point of the video, but like I said, it's just up in the air, isn't it? I think John Ruddy's going to have a shout again in goal. We've not seen much of him, and he tends to play in goal for those cup games. So I think John Ruddy will start in goal. I wouldn't be surprised to see Keanu Hoover come back. I think he'll be in at right back. Whether we play a back 4 or back 5, I'd probably stick with a back 4. We'll probably see Keanu Hoover, Cody, Kilman, Aït-Nouri, possibly even Matheson, but I think it'll be Keanu Hoover at right back. Central midfield partnership probably of Neves and Otasawi. Morgan Gibbs-White, I wouldn't be surprised to see come straight in. If not, it'll be Vitinha in there. And then Adama, probably Podence, and Fabio Silva up top. So I know I said rotated, but I think that is enough rotation. We're still having a strong team in there. And then you've got the likes of Catrone and Morgan Gibbs-White on the bench. I'd be surprised, especially Catrone, I'd be surprised if they're thrown straight in there. But you never know. I think they're going to be good options in off the bench for Wolves. And we'll see how it goes. Guys, let me know your score predictions in the comments section down below. Be sure to hit the like button. We'll be back for the match reaction, and we'll get the fans to react as well. If you ever want to get involved in the fans react, drop us a message on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter at Talking Wolves on all of those. And enjoy the rest of your day, folks. And I'll catch you all very, very soon.